Lincoln, you can't just suspend habeas corpus. I don't care if we're in a war or not. Law is the law. Hello and welcome to Civil War in Hindsight. I'm Lieutenant Tommy. With me as always is Prospector Johnny. And this week, Prospector, the war's been going on for a week. Spoiler, we're not going to have any more substantial battles or casualties this week, but some
oh, well, that's good.
Some issues,
I guess.
Some issues arrive, and we'll just kind of dive right into it. The week's going to open up on the 26th with Governor Joseph Brown of Georgia saying that any of his citizens that owe money to Northerners are now no longer obligated to pay those debts. So,
I mean, I guess that makes sense from their point of view, because if you're seceding from the whole country, just cut all ties, right? With any sort of
we just don't owe
thing.
you those.
They better hope that the North doesn't decide to cut ties as far as like trading them things, or have we already done that?
Yeah, it's a whole blockade. They're already cut off.
Okay, they're already done there. Yeah,
cut off.
So I guess that's kind of tit for tat there.
Sort of a little bit, but it almost makes it kind of like. Is this Civil War just a way to get out of some debts that you owe? Come on now.
I mean, aren't all wars just for the rich men anyway?
That's probably partly true. Also on the 26th, Joseph Johnson will take command of the state troops around Richmond. So we've got Robert E. Lee, who's in command of all the troops of Virginia, and now we've got Johnston, who's going to be taking control of the troops around Richmond. So one step underneath.
So wait, I thought Robert E. Lee retired, but since the war was declared, he came back.
Oh my God, Johnny, your retention is just fantastic.
It's bad.
It is.
He said he said
he was going to retire, and then at the end of last week, the Confederate states said, like, you're now our commander of Virginia, and he's like, okay.
That's right. Yeah, I remember now.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. And the North Carolina Governor, John Ellis, is going to call for a special convention to discuss secession as he chastises Lincoln for his call for 75,000 volunteers. Says, we were going to stay out of it, but now that Lincoln's called for troops, I think we need to put secession back on the table. On the 27th, Lincoln will order that the blockade be extended to the shores of Virginia and now the shores of North Carolina. Virginia, who has seceded, North Carolina, who's looking like they're gonna
try to again at least.
Yeah, at
right?
least, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and extend the blockade all the way through the Carolinas and Virginia. The U.S. Navy War Department is scrambling to put together any boat that they can on the water for the blockade, and have now resorted to buying merchant vessels, steamboats, putting cannons on them, and now using them for the blockade as well.
I'm sure these are also properly reinforced and well equipped to handle firing cannons and taking shots from.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure there's nothing sketchy about just taking a merchant boat and putting some guns on it and going. It's a
probably
battleship.
Fine.
It's probably fine. I'm sure.
As long as you put the same number of cannons on each side, right?
And fire,
to equal the weight.
Yeah, and fire at the same time, so they don't capsize the boat. Yeah, you're probably fine. Yeah, you're probably fine. Lincoln is going to go a bit too far today, though, on the 27th, and he's going to suspend habeas corpus, Johnny, along the line from Philadelphia to Washington, and.
Wait, in just that area?
In just that area, not the whole country, but from Philadelphia to Washington, along that line, habeas corpus is suspended, and
so he can just arrest anybody. Then
he can just arrest anybody without due process of law, without trial, without charges, nothing. You just be like, you're a rebel sympathizer, go to jail with you, and I can intern you for as long as I want. A little dictatorish here, not a fan.
That's quite dictatorish. Does he have to? And so it's not giving them a sentence, them waiting for it. It's just you're in jail now. No explanation needed, no defense of anything needed. You're just in jail.
So
it's like a prisoner camp kind of, but for anybody
that he doesn't, presumably he doesn't like or perceive that he doesn't like. And I've always said, look, yes, I'm in blue.
Messed up.
Yes, I'm in blue. So naturally speaking, I'm gonna support the Northern Viewpoint. I will not support this end of the Northern Viewpoint.
No,
Lincoln, this is ridiculous, Lincoln.
That's overreaching.
I hope you back this down. Now, he's this whole idea of this is to try to calm things down in the region, especially along Baltimore where the riots are going on, give him a little bit more authority. This is based on General Scott's recommendations, but you should probably never listen to a general in regards to what you should do with a civilian population in a time of war, because they always have the civilians' interest in heart. And and I believe, there was a war that we fought a few years back because the British in Boston did the same thing to us when we didn't want to pay their taxes. So Lincoln...
What war was that? We'll have to talk about that sometime.
Revolutionary War there, Johnny.
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah.
They threw the tea in the harbor, and they didn't like that, so they started arresting people. And
the party.
Yeah, that happened, yeah. So, not a fan, Lincoln. Really not a fan of this
that's tough. And that, because it's just in that area, and he's doing that to calm things down, but that's just going to make everybody that was rioting more mad.
Yeah, because
now it's like, even if I'm not doing anything, you're going to arrest me and lock me up.
When does blind, arresting of people, just military crackdown ever work to calm things down?
Maybe this will be the first time that it'll work from here on out.
The arrival of the 7th New York Infantry Regiment into Washington seems to make things better in Washington. They now no longer feel that they're being besieged. They now have enough infantry and military support. And the riots have started to slow down in Baltimore, maybe partly due to the military, maybe partly due to this whole crackdown, and I'm going to arrest whoever I want.
Maybe part due to fatigue.
Maybe partly just tired. They've been rioting for a week.
Eventually you're going to get tired of it, right?
Things are going to, you're going to run out of torches. The booze is going to start to dry up.
That's the big one.
You're going to want to go home, take a little nappy or two. The 7th New York is actually going to be quartered in the House of Representatives chamber in the federal Capitol. I wonder if the future will ever see military troops sleeping in the Capitol building ever again. I wonder if that'll ever happen.
Why on earth would it? There's something insane would have to happen for that.
Foresight. Let those at home just let that sink in for a second. Anyways, on the 28th, Virginia will invite all the seceded states and those who may secede, including places like North Carolina, to coming to Richmond for a convention of Southern delegates and propose that Richmond should be the new capital of the Confederacy. So,
this place has more conventions than anybody.
Yeah,
they're having conventions every week. The South just wants to party, right?
It kind of sounds like it. On the 29th of April, the Maryland House of Delegates is going to vote a second time, 53-13, good news here, against secession, Johnny. So Maryland,
again, all right.
Even though Baltimore's rioting, even though we've just said to hell with habeas corpus in Maryland, they still say we're not going to secede.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the squeaky wheel trying to get the grease. It's a small majority making a loud noise, but most of Maryland's like, no, we still want to be part of this union.
Yeah, we don't really like the idea of, being shot at and, forced back into the union because...
I wonder if their little skirmish with all the shots being fired gave them a little taste of what it might be like. They're like, oh, you know what?
It's speaking.
Maybe we're fine here.
Speaking of those shots being fired in those Baltimore riots, every U.S. soldier that died in those Baltimore riots is going to be given full military honors, full military funeral, full military pension benefits, all that stuff that comes with dying.
Full military lifespan.
Yeah. They died. I see what. Yeah, that's short. Well, thank you, Johnny, for reminding me of how hazardous my occupation is right now. In this time of
be careful out
strife.
there, Tommy.
Well, luckily I'm still just a staff ordinance, but hey, I did put in a requisition to be transferred to the ordnance department, so we'll see if that goes through in the future.
Hope so. Now, quick question: as far as all the shots fired and everything else, people died. Was anybody arrested? Were any charged?
Well, Johnny, yes, people have. That's the whole habeas corpus. There's a bunch of people in
these
riots along these lines that have been, you mean like soldiers? Like have soldiers been arrested?
Well, just anybody. I didn't know habeas corpus happened before.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's why it's being. Yes, people are.
Okay, so they're getting people that were at the protests.
People are being rounded up.
But they don't know who killed who there.
No, they just basically right now, if you're walking around Baltimore going screw the union, you're probably gonna get a night in a jail cell at least.
Yeah, well, lucky for them if they're, as long as they don't go around doing that, nobody can prove that they were at the riots.
Yeah,
and so they're gonna have a hard time getting in trouble. It's a good thing they don't have tracking devices on them.
Yeah, it's a good thing that our camera technology is pretty limited right now. Foreshadowing. During the Confederate convention in Richmond, Confederate President Jefferson Davis will state, and I quote, "We feel that our cause is just and holy. We protest solemnly in the face of mankind that we desire peace at any sacrifice, save that of honor and independence. We seek no conquest, no aggravation, no concession of any kind from the states with which we were lately confederated. All we ask is to be let alone, and that those who never held power over us shall now not attempt to hold power over us or subjugate us by arms." So, I have a couple things to say. First is, A, you fucking shot first, like multiple times. You asked no concessions? What was Fort Sumter? You didn't own that land. It wasn't on your territory. It was in the harbor, and you wanted that. So you took it by force by shooting at it. You ask.
Only a couple rounds.
You seek no invasion, but President Davis, wasn't it you who last week told the Maryland governor, like, hey, like we're gonna send troops up there to take over Baltimore, like we should do that by all means to secure it, because they're rioting. So let's take that city. Yeah, I'm calling BS on everything you just said.
Are you telling me that this politician's lying to us about?
He's lying. And that whole you never held power over us. You were confederated with us 6 months ago. You were still yes, you were a state, but you were still the federal law is supreme, federal law, then state law. So I'm just saying they did hold power over you. Although, Lincoln did call for 75,000 troops to suppress that whole thing. So we are, I guess, trying to subjugate them back into our service. But yeah, hey, whatever. And our week, Johnny, and our month, the month of April is going to come to an end with the New York Yacht Club, of all places, offering the services of their vessels to the Union blockade.
They're like, wait, guys, hey, I heard you were buying merchant vessels and shit. Like, what about us? We got the best yachts ever. They're great.
We got a yacht. You can put a cannon on our yacht. This is like a rich old boys club, we're going to help the war effort. Take my civilian steamer that I take on junks in the channel and use that for the blockade.
They just want to play war and get their rich toys in there. That's fantastic. Did they take them up on it? Or are they gonna?
Oh no, yeah, they're putting the boats in the. Yeah, they're gonna. Hey, so I guess we have that. Lincoln is going to order the evacuation of all forts within Indian territories to focus on the issues of the rebellion. So instead of having troops out in the wilderness and non-states, he's like, all right, we're gonna come back.
Now, so what were these troops doing out there? They were just protecting the Indians from all the dangerous things around them?
Yeah.
Because they couldn't handle it themselves? Or what are they...
Had nothing to do with, making sure the Indians don't attack the settlers in those territories.
So they were just
they're just there
spying on them and making sure that they didn't go ahead and attack all the people taking their stuff.
Yep. This would leave the 5 civilized tribes, which I love that term, civilized tribe, the 5 civilized tribes of the Cherokees, Chickasaws, Choctaws, Creeks, and Seminoles on their own devices. Like, all right, hey, look. So if those forts were there for their protection, well, they're not there now. So you're up to your own devices. And a lot of
good luck, Native Americans who have been here for hundreds of years.
Well,
how are you going to survive?
Well, a lot of these Native Americans are going to get wooed by the Confederate states, who are trying to get them as allies to, maybe...
Wooed or paid?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Including paid by slaves.
I'm sorry?
Slaves. They gave them slaves, Johnny. They
gave slaves to the natives.
Yeah, they gave some of the natives
in exchange for warriors.
Yeah, they get
fight.
Yeah,
okay.
that definitely happened. So some of the 5 civilized tribes would outright support the Confederacy because they were pro-secessionist, because they also liked the whole slavery thing. And some of them were like they're white men, so they're the devils. So why trade one devil for the other? Maybe we should just stay neutral in this and let the white man kill himself off and take the land after everybody's dead.
Yeah, it's like the take it back. It's like the enemy of my enemy type thing, and they're both enemies, and the enemies are fighting, and then you're just like, oh, all right. You guys want to, okay.
So I guess now, I mean, depending on which side you look at, it looks like we got some Native Americans getting involved in the scuffle too. We'll see how that pans out as this war progresses. That's it for this week in Civil War in Hindsight. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and join us on Historic Hindsight, where we talk about all kinds of various historical things, like the French.